All right, what's going on, StaleMates? Welcome back to another episode here. We got a very special guest, a first-timer on the show. He's down there at Little Rock, Arkansas, I believe. We're going to find out. He's got a big matchup coming up on January 29th. We're going to talk about that a little bit. This broadcast is brought to you by Mattman. You can use code StaleMates for 10% off. And then also, we are brought to you by the good folks at Barbarian Apparel. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Hope you guys like the new setup. Chandler Rogers, what's going on, man?
It's going pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You are in Little Rock, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it, we're on the same time zone? I know earlier we were trying to figure that out. Are you on 9 a.m. Central or 9 p.m. Central right now?
Yeah. 9 p.m.
And so what's been going on lately for you? You're coaching at Little Rock, and then are you competing a little bit? I know you got this match coming up, but is this your first competition and how long?
Last time I competed, it was I want to say it was the U.S. Open, and it was in Greco. And it was in Dallas. So that's been over a year ago. And so, but I've been competing with the guys, just trying to stay in somewhat good shape. And then once I found out that there's an opportunity to maybe compete, and I saw these cards coming out, and I started getting in better shape and starting to get all the quarantine weight off and get back down to fighting weight. And then but I've been coaching while doing all that. I've been recruiting and learning what it takes to be a D1 college coach, and just a whole nother aspect of the wrestling world.
Yeah, before we get into your college career, I guess let's go ahead and just talk about the upcoming matchup that you have going on. I know what happened on my end, but actually how this thing got set up was through Neil, Coach Neil, and so I know that side of things, but I didn't actually get to talk to you about some of this stuff till later on. But how did it work for you on your end, and like how did you hear about this? Because I don't think you're that active on social media. Did he bring it to you like, hey, this random kid in Iowa who has this YouTube channel called StaleMates wants to do this thing, or what happened?
Neil walked. I think I was just sitting in my office doing some stuff, and he walked in. He goes, "Hey, what's your weight like?" And I was like, "Oh, it's not bad. I mean, I'm not eating the healthiest, but I've been exercising." And he goes, "Can you make 205?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, well, there's this guy with StaleMates, and he wants to and get you a match." And I was like, "Yeah, sign me up." And so it was really like as simple as that. He's like, "All right, cool," and they just walked out. And I was like, I love it because like I've always been pretty simple growing up, where I never went to brackets or never really was in the loop on stuff. But I would be done with a tournament and my shoes would be off, and my dad would say, "Hey, you got exhibition match, let's go." And I'd be like, "Oh, okay, sounds good." And I throw my shoes on, go wrestle. And so I love that he kind of does that with me. He's like, "Hey, you want to wrestle?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, you're gonna wrestle in 2 weeks." I'm like, "Cool."
That's exactly what happened. And I don't know if you know what happened on our end, because I don't think you're too active on Twitter and stuff like that. But I sent out this tweet saying, like, what's it take to get somebody to in one of these cards to wear a StaleMates like singlet or warm up or something like that. And immediately he was on it like pretty quick. And I was like, cool. And he's like, or his text said Chandler Rogers will do it. And I don't even know if you had even volunteered at that point. I think he was just saying, whatever. And the tweet was doing pretty well. And somebody had reached out saying like, my guy Kevin tweeted back at me, and he said, if you come to Philly, we'll make it happen. And so I have Neil on this side and I have Kevin on this side, and I'm thinking, okay, well, why don't we put these two things together? So I asked Neil, I was like, well, does Chandler have a match coming up? Because if he's got a match coming up, like, cool. If he doesn't, we'll try to figure it out. And he said that you hadn't had any matches. So then we figured it out. And I would say you were probably the last guy that, like, I think everything was done. And then it was like, oh, wait, I need to talk to Chandler first. This guy might not like me. I don't know.
No, I think Neil was pretty smart in that. I think I would just probably slow the process down. I think they just gotta get it all situated and get it all set up, and then just kind of throw it on me, and I'll take it. And so that's kind of perfect. I hope that all the other ones happen like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And when they announced the card, a lot of people were saying, like, I feel like, and I don't know if it's just me being like selfish or whatever the word would be, but I feel like this match has a lot of hype behind it because for multiple reasons. You wrestled, the last time we saw you wrestle, at least in college, was 165. And then Darmstadt's like
Yeah.
a, what, 97, 84 guy?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so a lot of people are like, okay, what weight is it at? Like, I know you're a Greco guy, and is it Greco? Is it freestyle? So I guess go ahead and tell people what it is, what weight, and freestyle Greco. I mean, I know, but for the people who don't know, what is it?
Yeah, we're gonna wrestle at 205, and we're gonna be wrestling freestyle. And mainly because, well, I know Darmstadt doesn't do Greco, but and so I kind of want to come back into the freestyle realm. But I trained Greco for a year, and it really kind of messed my back up a lot. Like I had a bad back, and
You're
the
throwing people
Greco
out the
just
damn arena.
I know, right? And I hurt my back, and the doctor was like, "Yeah, you probably shouldn't do any more back arches." And I was like, "Well, I don't think you understand what sport I'm in. I actually have to do back arches." And so, anyway, I kept wrestling Greco, and it kind of led to me like hurting my back even more, and then I started wrestling around freestyle a little bit, and for some reason, like being bent over in a stance makes my back feel wonderful. And instead of standing straight up and being in a very vertical position, it was just a little harder on my back. And so now doing freestyle, everything feels great. And we're wrestling at 205 because Greco I wrestled 89 kilos. And so I was already pretty big. But yeah.
Okay, are you excited to wrestle freestyle? When is the last time you did a freestyle match?
My last freestyle match was the Pan American Championships.
Pan American Championships. Okay. So I'm actually an Iowa State fan. I got to come clean. And I probably don't have the best reputation with the Oklahoma State Cowboys. I also got to come clean with that. But I will say you were always one of my guys that I love to watch because I like to be entertained. And without
Yeah,
a doubt, you were probably one of the most entertaining Cowboys of all time. Did you get that a lot?
I did get that a lot, and it's so nice to hear that because the whole reason why I could actually go and wrestle and not have a whole lot of anxiety is because that was my main goal. It wasn't really I really wanted to win, but I also wanted to win with style
Hmm.
and be excited and be a showman. And I've always thought of wrestling as a game, and it's a sport for people to watch. And so I might as well put on a good show. Nobody wants to see you go out and wrestle a match 1-1 and barely win, right? Like they want to go see somebody get put on their head and then make it come down to the wire or something like that. So
I'm a big UFC fan, and there's some fighters that all that they have going for them is they have like a really good record, and once that record's gone,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. And then there's some guys who doesn't matter win or lose, people still love the guy and they love to watch him compete, and they're gonna buy the pay-per-views, even though you had a really good you had a good record, and you were what, two-time All-American. I don't want to get it wrong, 2 or 3-time All-American.
yeah, I'm all American.
So you still had the accolades, but along with that, you still had this amazing persona of like you never know when what Chandler Rogers is going to do. You're famous for the move assassin, correct? That's your thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And what I really remember was I think it was Skylar St. John when you guys wrestled Iowa, and I can't remember if Skylar St. John if it happened to him when he was at Iowa or Iowa State, but that was like a big one. That clip went viral. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then another Chandler Rogers moment I remember is that iconic picture of you kind of like, I don't know what you're doing, but you won and you're throwing the gums up and you're like like just super celebrating. I think you might be on one foot. What match was that? Do you remember?
I think that was my last match when I won, or my last match in Gallagher when I pin the Iowa guy in the assassin, and then I just couldn't stop dancing, and it embarrassed my wife a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, I embarrassed my wife in more ways than that. I'm telling you that. But for you, is like wrestling a way that you can kind of express yourself like that? Because you seem like a pretty chill guy. You know, you didn't even know this match was coming up, and you're just like, yeah, sure, we'll do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I love wrestling, and it's just such a unique sport where you can go out and you can really just put yourself out on the mat. A lot of people, they put themselves in music and in art, and for me it's my own. Like I can show 10 kids the same single leg that I hit, and all 10 of them are going to hit it 10 different ways. And it's going to look 10 different ways, and you can never really hit a move the same way that somebody else hits it. And that's why I like wrestling, is because it's unique. Everybody's unique and different. You can study somebody, but the way that they feel certain moves is completely different. And so I don't know. It's just it's just fun. There's so many aspects of it. I think if I could take out one part, it'd be the weight cutting. But other than that,
Well, you don't have to do at 205. I don't think you're cutting much weight, right?
No, I'm not cutting much weight.
Yeah, and so now you're coaching nowadays. You're down at Little Rock or University of Arkansas Little Rock. I don't want to get it wrong, right? Go ahead and say it.
University of Arkansas at Little Rock.
Okay, so now you're down there and you're coaching, building the program. It's year 2. Are you trying to teach guys your style? Because you got this kind of unorthodox, high flying style. Are you trying to teach them that, or what? How do you like translate your skills to the new guys?
I've tried not to throw too much at them, but I see guys when they go live trying to hit the assassin, and I see the heavyweights trying to do some throws, and it gets me excited. And, that's when I hop in and I'm like, hey, if you're hitting the assassin, here's like some tips and tricks on like how I do it, and what might help you get, and then like when we go upper body, I get to help the bigger guys and things like that. I've always dreamed of being a heavyweight, so I love working with the heavyweights. But yeah, so it's really fun just kind of giving them a lot of things in their arsenal, but I don't want to give them too much to where they lose sight of who they were. That's the last thing you want to do to an athlete, is completely change who they've been their whole lives, because that just really confuses them. But yeah, we just try to improve upon what they already do.
Yeah, and yeah, you got to admit there's a big pokey presence down there, correct? Are you guys trying to imitate what goes on at Stillwater down there, or does Arkansas have like its own style, you think?
I think it's got its own style. We do a lot of things that have come from North Carolina, things that even I saw at Air Force at the Olympic Training Center. Where Hobby got his experience as well, like at UTC, like things that him and Bono used to do. I think there's a big mesh of what we do, but I think I would say that 80% of the stuff that we do comes from what we did at Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Again, not a big Cowboy fan, but I like the Trojans, right? I may or may not be coming down there. I may or may not be coming down there soon, so I'm gonna have to learn to like the Cowboys, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. All right, man. A couple things here before we go. I like to keep these things pretty brief. I'm gonna ask you if you're in or out on these things. All right, the octagon mat. You in or out on it?
In.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. I think you guys might have been the first ones to do it. I think now Virginia Tech has one.
Yeah. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Is that how the saying goes?
I think so. I like that. Bryce Mitchell.
Bryce Mitchell?
Yep. You know who that is? In? Is he still around the room sometimes?
I've seen him a few times.
Is he? I know he's known for his grappling. Is the wrestling good?
I've really just seen him for his grappling, but haven't really got to put my hands on him yet. So
Okay. And then StaleMates. Finally, if you got to check us out at all, you can say no.
All right, I'll give you an in.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. I appreciate you doing this, man. We're super excited to watch you go out there, and we like to do things kind of unorthodox. And I think you're kind of an orthodox guy in terms of the way you wrestle, and we're really excited for it. And don't be afraid to win. I know you get paid more money if you win, so don't feel bad. We want you. We want you out there. StaleMates has to stay undefeated. Right now we're 0-0.
Heck yeah, I'll help you guys out.
Yeah, and one more thing before I go. What's the fan base like in Arkansas?
It's growing. It's we're just kind of reaching out to a lot of people, and I think the more people are exposed to wrestling and the hype of it, we had I think if people got to, who went to the duel for the very first time this last Sunday saw our 65-pounder blow through the guy and split the guy's lip wide open and put him to his back and hold him to his back and see me, Neil, and Javi screaming in the corner and how exciting that was. I don't know how they wouldn't want to come back or invite people to come back. And so I think it's a growing sport, or I think it's a growing fan base here. So yeah.
Who's your bonus point guy for all the fantasy wrestling fans out there? Who's your bonus point guy that people maybe pick up? They might still be on the waivers and whatnot.
In our lineup, who's our bonus point guy? Oh man, I would I put my money on Kyle Pruitt. I've seen that guy be in some dog fights where maybe he's getting in positions and it's not working out for him, but that dude will find a way to freaking put you on your back and pin you. And I love guys like that who have that pinning ability and are always thinking that they're still in the match, because that's kind of how I was. I wasn't the smartest wrestler. I would sometimes bite off more than I can chew and end up in a position. I'm pretty sure I'm responsible for most of Coach Smith's gray hairs, but I just. That's the fun part about wrestling is you got 7 minutes to freaking win that match, and it ain't over until that buzzer goes off.
Heck yeah, man! I'm so glad that you're doing for this. I can't thank you enough. We'll be in touch. Thank you guys for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Follow all the Arkansas pages out there. Twitter, the Arkansas RTC. They're a big help with all of this. Barbarian Apparel. They've been a big help. Penn RTC on Rockfin, January 29th. Chandler Rogers versus Ben Darmstadt. What's your prediction? Go ahead and give a prediction out.
Oh, I'm gonna win. I don't know what the score will be, but I heard he's like 6'4", 6'5", but when we were kids, we used to crawl up on these trees and wave back and forth till they broke. And that's kind of what I thought about when somebody told me that he was 6'5". And so I'm going to do my best to bring him on down and take him to deep waters.
Let's go. We're going to find out if he can swim, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
Thank you, brother, so much.
Yep, for sure. See you guys.